Okay, so first things first, I'm just going to show you a little bit and then we'll get into the practice. So I really wanted today to be about our pigeon pose. So if you don't know pigeon pose, here it is. Usually it's taught from our downward facing dog. We're told to bring the right knee to the right wrist, behind the right wrist, and then kind of swing that ankle behind the left wrist. And then we scooch that left foot back, lowering down, trying to get the hips down, okay? So you'll see this pose a lot. This is pigeon pose. So what this typically looks like, a lot of the times it can feel really hard for people to get the shin forward and parallel to your mat. So if that's you, then I offer you this tip of really drawing the knee to the outside of the wrist and then swinging that ankle over and then placing the shin down and then scooching the back foot. So my knee is actually wider than my wrist and that gives me more space to get my hips through. Sometimes when we close ourselves off, it's really hard to get, let me see if you can see, to get this shin parallel to the front of our mat. So if that's you, just draw that knee out a little bit past the wrist. Good. Second thing I always see, typically, I see this, okay? You're not really getting, if the shin is tucked under and you're like this, you're not really getting the stretch out of it. Like, you're not going to get the stretch in these abductors and help with the knee and the ankle if it's all compressed towards the body. So we want to focus on maybe getting this shin out a little bit more parallel, okay? So notice I'm sitting on my right, I'm sitting more the weight out to my right, and you can even come into a 90-90 pose to get the leg positioning right. So what 90-90 is that both my knees are in a 90-degree angle. And then from here, I'm just going to focus on squaring up the shoulders. And maybe I come down and up and down and up. And we'll go ahead and do the other side. So we can just switch the knees here. And we'll come into 90-90 on the left side. So sorry if I'm out of frame. I'm trying really hard, but I can't really see anything. Hi. This is Sway. This is Sway. She wants to play. This is for you if you struggle with any of those things in the pigeon pose. And this is going to be like 4 or 5 poses that you can do that aren't pigeon pose, that are going to give you the same effects so that you can loosen up your hips, your knees, your ankles, and eventually get to that beautiful, safe pigeon pose, because that's what we like to do. We don't like to do things because they look pretty. We do them because they're functional and because they make us feel good. So have your blocks handy. And let's go ahead and get started. We'll take a nice big breath here together. Close down the eyes and let yourself get grounded with me. A lot just happened, so let me catch my breath. Take a nice big inhale, fill that belly up. Feel it on all sides, up into the ribs, up into the heart, up into the crown. Keep inhaling, hold it. And then exhale. Nice. Okay, good. And we're back. So you're going to come to a nice seated position. We can roll the fat away from the seat bones. And then we're just going to draw the feet towards one another. So the soles of the feet are together. And we're just coming into a Badhakonasana here. So you can have the heels as close to the groin as you can. You'll get more of a stretch that way. If they're out wide, all good. Have a nice comfortable position that feels good for you. And then we'll take a nice big inhale, straight in the back. And with a nice straight back, I'll just have you exhale and just fold forward here. Let the head be heavy. Maybe you do some half circles with the head. Give me 2 more big belly breaths. And then inhale, come up. Give yourself a nice grounding breath. Reminding us that this practice is all about feeling empowered in our body. And how do we do that? How does yoga make us feel empowered? It's literally the art of sitting with ourselves. It's the art of accepting ourselves. And how empowered is it if you are fully accepted, fully embodied in who you are? Good. I'm going to draw the knees together. And then we're going to go ahead. So we're going to reach the left ankle to the outside of the right hip. And then my right foot is going to come over, reaching towards the outside of my left hip to get a stacked knee look here. And I actually am going to have the ankles pretty wide from the body. And just going for the knees to be stacked. If that feels super impossible, you're going to grab a block. You're going to just sit on that block. And that should give you the space to really get those knees a little bit better. Sit as high as you need. Maybe you need 2 blocks. And I always think, take a nice big inhale here, and then you're just going to exhale, fold. Just start walking those hands out. You can let the head be heavy, get comfortable here. And now, as we talk about empowerment and really speaking your truth, do you ever meet those people who are just like, you just are drawn to their energy because they're full of life, they are like fully and, graciously in their skin, right? They're just so full of energy, they own who they are, they really like spread their light, and they're just a really nice person to be around. We like that because it's empowering, right? It's empowering when we see someone who is fully in their nature and their truth. It's like, oh, that's the permission slip that we get to be fully in our truth, fully in our presence, in our body. So as we move forward today, how can we be that person? Maybe just for one person, maybe one person online, maybe it's at the grocery store. How can we be so fully embodied and so confident in our skin that we shed that empowerment off? Good, take a nice inhale, come halfway up. And we're gonna do a little transition here. So you're gonna fold over, come to the knees, okay? And listen up. You're gonna press the feet down, reach the hips up, and we're just gonna walk the hands to the left. In a circle, keep the feet where they are, and you're gonna pivot, pivot, pivot. Feet are where they are, don't move those feet. And then you're just gonna sit down. Left knee is on top of the right knee this time. And we're gonna take a big inhale. And exhale, you will fold forward. Let the head be heavy. Let the arms out wide, let them in front of you. And the second part of this is I want you to really relax in that glute muscle. So a lot of the time when we don't feel safe in something, our body just naturally reacts. It naturally reacts by restricting, by constricting, and just tensing up. So it's actually important for you to notice and relax that muscle. So anything that you feel is clenching, you need to relax it. Bringing that awareness to that part of the body. And really drawing this awareness off the mat into our life, right? Like it's one thing to be sitting in stillness and noticing, but it's another thing to be out in the world with real life, when real life hits. And to be noticing and breathing, like, ooh, how did that land for me? To breathe through it, to give ourselves a moment to like really digest, to really respond and not just react. Good, inhale, you'll come up here. And then we're gonna come up into a high lunge. So I have my left leg forward. My left leg is forward, but I'm gonna turn to my right side so my hands frame my left foot. And then I'm gonna press the left foot down, come up on the right knee, and then just come into a lunge from this position. Inhale, reach the arms high. Sorry if I'm cut off. Ooh, losing my balance. And now we just want to get into the hip flexor. So maybe you bend that right knee, but I really want you to press that right glute forward. So if you need the hand, press the hand on the back and then just reach that right hip flexor forward. You should feel it right in the front there. Good, then start straightening out that right leg, deeper bend in the left knee. Good, then bend in the right knee. See if you can get that stretch back. And straighten. So it's just little movements for me. Maybe they're bigger for you, maybe they're smaller. 2 more. Good, one last good one. Press that hip forward. I'm like reaching my heart up to the sky, reaching my elbows back towards one another. And then exhale, I will draw the right knee down, untuck right toes. And you can have your blocks on the side here. We're going to straighten out the left leg. And a few tips here. You want to keep your hips nice and square. So sometimes the right hip will kind of fall out to the right side. But you want to refrain from doing that. So make sure that right hip is plugged in. The left is nice and straight. Inhale a little bit longer. And then exhale, fold, reaching the chin towards the foot, reaching the heart towards the sky. Sorry, heart towards the earth. Gosh, I haven't taught in a while. Teaching live is different. Gotta get that mat rust off, I guess. Give me 2 more breaths here. You should feel it in the hamstring. Keep reaching those toes up. Flexing the foot. Nice. And then exhale, step the left foot down. We'll plant those hands. And then step the left foot back. We'll clear this bad boy out. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And let's step the right foot forward. Come into our high lunge. Inhale, reach the arms up. Slight bend in the knee here, in the left knee. Deep bend in the right knee. You can bring the hand to the back here, to that lower back. And then just press that, ooh. So I'm really like pressing my hand into my glute to really press the hip forward. So I'm feeling it fully in the hip flexor. And then I'll straighten that left leg. Give myself a little break and then bend it a little bit. Get the stretch back. And I'm also stretching the chest here. Breathe, straighten, and exhale. Do one more. And then bend that left knee so deeply you come all the way down. Have your blocks handy. And we'll go ahead and straighten out the leg. Making sure the hips are stacked over this knee. And then inhale, folding forward with a nice straight back. Again, using the blocks and your props to bring it as high as you need. Feeling the stretch in the back and the right hamstring this time. And just flexing the foot deeply. Last breath here. Good. And we'll clear this one out since we're in it. Go ahead and bend that right foot. Place the hands to frame the foot. Step it back. Clear it out. And go ahead and come to sit on your knees. I hope you guys enjoyed this routine. You can do that to open up your hips, feel better in your body, release the tension. Just notice the difference from when we started. Just in that little small 15-minute sequence, just noticing the difference, right? Maybe we feel happier. Maybe we were working through something before we decided to do this, and now we've cleared that energy. So I invite you guys to all look into what empowers you today. And if you notice things that are draining you, notice that, right? Notice what drains you. Notice what gives you energy. Be fully aware of that and fully aware of you honoring your truth, right? You fully expressed is the best version of yourself, and I fully 100% believe that. I honor that. I try to bring that out in all of my humans around me, because being you is it's just the best feeling in the world, right? It's the most empowering. And thank you guys for being here. I'll see you next week. Namaste.